They called him arrogant. They called him a mercenary, a troublemaker, a villain. The world looked at the lion and saw only the teeth. They didn't see the scars. They didn't see the hunger that eats a man from the inside out. How much pain is glory worth? How much blood must you spill to become a god?
Really gets the party started. This is his stage. This is where he belongs.
Sweden, the land of politeness, of Jantelligen, the cultural law that says, you are not better than anyone else. And then, there was Rosengård, the Ghetto, a concrete island of immigrants where Sweden ended and the Balkans began. Here, politeness was a weakness. Here, you didn't ask. You took. Zlatan didn't go home to a warm dinner. He went home to a war zone. His mother, Jurka, worked until her hands bled to feed the family, struggling with a temper as volatile as a bomb. His father, Shefik, was a ghost in his own house. The radio was always on. News from Yugoslavia. Genocide. Ethnic cleansing. Zlatan's father wasn't watching cartoons with his son. He was listening to his homeland burn. The trauma hung in the apartment like cigarette smoke. Hunger isn't just a feeling. It's a noise. It's the growl in your stomach that keeps you awake. Zlatan learned early. The world owes you nothing. If you want to go somewhere, you steal a bike. He stole bikes to get to training. He stole bikes to feel a rush. He was an outsider. Too loud for the Swedish parents at Malmö. They signed petitions to get him kicked out. They said he had no discipline. They said he was trash. But you cannot kick out a storm. You can only hope it doesn't destroy you. He wasn't playing for fun. He was playing to survive. He was playing to make them pay. By 2001, the secret was out. The boy from the ghetto was a diamond in the rough. Every club in Europe wanted a piece, including Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, the professor, invited him to London. He offered a trial, a chance to prove himself. Most kids would have trembled. Most kids would have begged. Zlatan looked him in the eye and said the words that would define his life. Zlatan doesn't do auditions. He chose Ajax, the school of total football. But the golden boy didn't shine immediately. The Dutch press mocked him. They called him a waste of money. He was flashy, ineffective, a circus act, and he had enemies inside the walls. Rafael van der Vaart, the darling of Dutch football, the captain. He hated Zlatan. He thought Zlatan was a thug. During an international match, Zlatan broke van der Vaart's ankle.
Ibrahimovic laat zich van zijn donkerste kant zien als hij smerig doorhaalt en Van der Vaart opzet.
He looked him in the eye and said, I didn't do it on purpose. But if you accuse me again, I'll break both your legs, and that time it will be on purpose. The tension was at a breaking point. The crowd was whistling him. Zlatan took the ball. 1 fake. 2 fakes. He sent the cameraman for a hot dog. He sent the defender back to school. He turned the pitch into a playground. It wasn't just a goal. It was a declaration of independence. While Van der Vaart sat injured in the stands, watching in horror, Zlatan became the king of Amsterdam. But tricks don't win titles in Italy. Serie A was a war of attrition. A graveyard for flashy strikers. Enter Fabio Capello, the general. Capello didn't care about the circus tricks. He wanted a killer. He locked Zlatan in a room and made him watch tapes of Van Basten. He told him, "You have no goals in you. You play like a child." He broke Zlatan down to build him into a weapon. Every day in training was a street fight. Thuram. Cannavaro. They hit him. They spat at him. Zlatan learned to hit back harder. He became mean. He became a tank with the feet of a ballerina. Then, the system collapsed. Juventus was relegated for match fixing. Loyalty? In football, loyalty is a lie told to fans. Zlatan didn't go down with the ship. He walked across the divide to Inter Milan. And then came the perfect storm. Zlatan and Mourinho. Two egomaniacs. Two outcasts. It was a love story written in blood and trophies. Inter needed a win to secure the title. Zlatan had a bad knee. Zlatan looked at the pitch. He came on. He scored 2 thunderbolts. He carried the city on his back. When asked about the Ballon d'Or, he didn't give the humble answer. He said, "I don't need the Ballon d'Or to know I am the best." He was the king of Italy. But he wanted to be a god. 2009. The dream move. Barcelona. The best team in history. Zlatan kissed the badge. He thought he was joining a super team. He didn't know he was joining a cult. Pep Guardiola. The philosopher. He wanted obedient schoolboys. He wanted everyone to drive the same car, wear the same clothes, bow to the same little Argentine genius. Zlatan started strong. But the air was too thin. He wasn't allowed to be Zlatan. He was told to keep his head down, to not drive his sports cars, to blend in. The pressure cooker exploded. After a loss to his old team, Inter, Zlatan cornered Guardiola in the dressing room. He threw a metal kit box across the room. He screamed, "You have no balls. You are shitting yourself in front of Mourinho." Guardiola stopped talking to him. He treated Zlatan like a ghost. Zlatan realized the truth. You bought a Ferrari, but you drive it like a Fiat. He had to escape. He would not be tamed. Not for Messi. Not for Pep. Not for anyone. He didn't just leave Barcelona. He escaped. He needed to breathe fire again. And there is only one place where devils feel at home. He returned to Italy. But this time, he swapped the blue of Inter for the blood red of AC Milan. The city was shocked. The Inter fans burned his shirts. They called him Judas. Zlatan loved it. Hate is fuel. The derby. His old family against his new one. He stared at the Inter fans. He stared at the noise. He scored. Of course he scored. It was a message sent directly to Catalonia. To Guardiola. You tried to kill the Ferrari. But the engine is still roaring. He took a Milan team that was aging, slow, and tired. He dragged them by the collar. He made Boateng play like a star. He made Nasserino score goals. It was the Ibra effect. In his very first season, he broke Inter's dominance. He brought the Scudetto back to the red side of Milan. He proved that the problem in Barcelona wasn't him. It was them. He was free. He was dangerous. And he was expensive. Too expensive for Italy. But glory costs money. And Milan was broke. They didn't want to sell him. He didn't want to go. But the accountants made the call. The king was put up for sale again. Next stop, Paris. He needed a kingdom of his own. Paris Saint-Germain was a project with money but no soul. They needed a leader. He arrived and changed everything. The food, the training ground, the mentality. He wasn't just a player. He was the owner, the manager, and the star. He ruled France with an iron fist. 4 years. 4 league titles. He bullied defenders. He humiliated goalkeepers. But the English press still doubted him. They called him overrated. They said he never did it against English clubs. It was the opening of the new stadium. Zlatan had already scored 3 goals.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, another chance. Svensson. Oh, here's Ibrahimovic. Well hit.
But he saved the impossible for last. Physics says no. Logic says no. Your brain says it's impossible. A 30-yard bicycle kick. Stan Collymore on commentary screaming, "I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen on a football pitch." The English players stood frozen. The press typed their apologies in real time. He didn't just score. He silenced a nation. When he left Paris, he gave them a quote for the history books. "I came like a king. I left like a legend."
I came like a king, I left like a legend.
They said he was too old. 35. The Premier League is too fast, too physical. Zlatan laughed. He came to Manchester and conquered. He made the difficult look easy. But the body keeps a score that the mind cannot ignore.
La primera que apoya. Uy, sí.
Minute 90. He jumps. He lands. The knee bent the wrong way. The ACL was gone. The PCL was gone. The meniscus was destroyed. The doctors looked at the scans and shook their heads. Career over. You don't come back from this at 35. You retire. They forgot who they were dealing with. While the world wrote his obituary, Zlatan was in the dark, working. Lions don't recover like humans. 7 months later, he walked back onto the pitch. But the knee was never the same. The United chapter closed. He needed to feel alive again. He went to America. Not to retire, but to remind himself that he could still hunt. He treated the MLS like a vacation. He scored for fun. He insulted the playoff system. He was a shark in a goldfish pond. But the easy life is boring for a warrior. Milan was calling. His old home. They were broken, losing, humiliated. They needed a savior. The king returned. He took a team of children and made them believe they were giants. He screamed at them in training. He forced them to run until they vomited. He raised the standard. But the end was near. The 2021 season. Zlatan's ACL was gone again. He had no ligament in his left knee. Every step was agony. Every jump was torture. He didn't tell the world. He played for 6 months without an ACL. He took painkillers every day. He drained the fluid once a week. He couldn't sleep from the pain. For a promise. He promised to bring the Scudetto back to Milan. He gave his knee for the trophy. He gave his body for the club. At age 40, he stood atop the podium one last time. The boy who stole bikes. The reject. The mercenary. The legend. The game will never see another like him. The god who bled.